Have you ever wondered if your entire life could change in a single night? Not a miracle, not luck, just one decision. Quentin Tarantino, one of the most legendary filmmakers of our time, lived through exactly that. He didn't have connections. He didn't come from money. In fact, he was stuck in a dead-end job, the kind of life most people would quietly accept. But one night, instead of following routine, he did something different, something bold. He chose to take action, and that choice, that single night, set him on a path that would rewrite his destiny. And here's the truth. What happened to Tarantino can happen to you. Your life doesn't always change over years of slow progress. Sometimes, all it takes is one powerful night, when you stop waiting and start creating. In the next few minutes, I'm going to tell you Tarantino's story, how a single night of writing gave birth to his career, what that moment teaches us about taking action, and most importantly, how you can apply the same principle to your own life starting tonight. Stay with me until the end. Because this isn't just a story about a filmmaker, this is about you, your choices, and the life you could be living if you decide that tonight is the night that changes everything. In the late 1980s, Quentin Tarantino wasn't a Hollywood icon. He wasn't even close. He was just another young man drifting through life in Los Angeles. He didn't finish school. He didn't have a fancy degree. His days were spent working in a video rental store, organizing shelves, and recommending movies to curious customers. That was it. Day after day, the same routine. But if you had looked a little closer, you would have noticed something unusual. Tarantino wasn't just renting tapes. He was studying them, obsessively. He absorbed every frame, every piece of dialogue, every cut. Cinema wasn't just entertainment to him. It was oxygen. And yet, no one around him could see the fire burning inside. To most people, he was just a clerk, a guy with too much energy and too many opinions about movies. Nothing special, but here's the secret. Greatness often hides behind ordinary appearances. And when you're stuck in the grind of daily life, it's easy to believe that your current circumstances define you. That the paycheck, the job, the lack of connections are proof that success is impossible. Tarantino could have accepted that story. He could have spent his life renting tapes, dreaming about someday. But deep down, he knew he had something to give. And one night, when he finally decided to act on it, everything began to change. It happened on a night that seemed ordinary, like thousands before it. After finishing his shift, Tarantino sat down with nothing but a typewriter and a head full of ideas. Most people would have gone home, collapsed in bed, and prepared to repeat the cycle the next day. But not him. Not that night. He started typing. At first, slowly, then faster. Characters came alive on the page. Dialogue flowed with energy and rhythm. The story that had been stuck in his head for months finally broke free. Hour after hour passed. Midnight turned into 2 a.m., 2 turned into 4. By sunrise, something remarkable had happened. When Tarantino had written the foundation of what would become Reservoir Dogs. That night wasn't about finishing a masterpiece in one sitting. It was about breaking inertia, about proving to himself that he was more than a clerk, more than his job, more than his circumstances. It was the night he stopped waiting for permission and gave himself the right to create. Think about it. One night, a few hours, a decision to act instead of sleep. And from that choice, the course of his life completely shifted. That script opened the door to his first film, which led to Pulp Fiction, Kill Bill, Inglourious Basterds, and eventually, the legacy of a filmmaker who changed cinema forever. And it all began because one night he chose to write instead of wait. So, what does this story mean for you? It's easy to believe that big changes require years of preparation, that you need to be smarter, richer, better connected, or more experienced before you can start. But that's a lie. Change doesn't wait for the perfect moment. Change happens the moment you decide to take action, no matter how small, no matter how imperfect. Tarantino didn't know if his script would succeed. He didn't know if anyone would even read it. What he did know was this: if he never tried, he would remain stuck. That fear, the fear of wasting his life, was greater than the fear of failing. Now think about your own life. How many times have you told yourself, "I'll start tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'll begin the book. Tomorrow, I'll hit the gym. Tomorrow, I'll launch the project." But here's the hard truth. Tomorrow doesn't exist. The only time you ever have is now. And the actions you take, or don't take today, are shaping your future, whether you realize it or not. One night, that's all it can take. Not to finish everything, not to solve your entire life, but to take the first step, to break the cycle, to prove to yourself that you are capable of more than your excuses. So let's bring this back to you. Right now, there's something you've been postponing. A dream, a project, a change you know you should make. Maybe it's writing. Maybe it's starting a business. Maybe it's simply breaking a bad habit that's been holding you back. Whatever it is, you already know what I'm talking about. It's that thought in the back of your mind that keeps whispering, someday. But someday never comes. Only tonight does. So here's the challenge. What if you used tonight differently? What if you turned off the distractions, silenced the notifications, and dedicated just a few hours to the thing that matters most? You don't need to finish. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to begin. Because here's the secret. Momentum is built in small bursts. One night can create momentum that shifts the entire direction of your life. Just like Tarantino, you don't need to know how it all ends. You just need to start the story. So ask yourself, what's the one thing you can do tonight that your future self will thank you for? Write it down. Commit to it. And when the urge to delay shows up, as it always does, remind yourself of Tarantino, and remember, your breakthrough might be only one night away. Quentin Tarantino's life changed because of one night, not because he had money, not because he had connections, but because he chose action over excuses. And now, the question is, will you? Are you going to wait for the perfect moment, the perfect conditions, the perfect plan, or will you decide that tonight is enough? Because the truth is, no one is coming to hand you permission. No one is coming to save you. The only person who can change your life is the one listening to this message right now. You. So let tonight be your turning point. Let tonight be the moment you finally take the step you've been avoiding. And when you do, come back here and share your story. Tell us in the comments, what's the decision you're making tonight to move closer to the life you want? If this story inspired you, subscribe to Growth Mode, hit the bell, and share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Remember, change doesn't take forever. Change doesn't need perfection. Sometimes all it takes is a single night.